And let's do another replay analysis. This one will be for Luscious Limes here. Champ 1 in 2s. We'll see what happens. Champ 1's a really fun rank. I feel like people are starting to figure stuff out, but there's still some very like subtle things that they get wrong that we can hopefully improve on. Unfortunate kickoff to start. Gizmo with a beautiful save though. Luscious Slime's kickoff here was spectacular. Speed flip. I think the other guy speed flip too, it seems. They went for the hard cheat, so there's not much you can do there, especially since Gizmo went for boost, it seems. But he had a great save, so that worked out. Gizmo going for the air dribble. You guys teamed up? You are teamed up. Okay. Normally I wouldn't recommend positioning like this if you're solo queuing. If you know the guy and you're talking and he could say, I got it, I feel like whatever, he feels confident in it, this pass, that's fine, as long as you're ready to go back to net. Try to get the flip reset out to the middle. Didn't quite work out. Unfortunate jump, just misread it. I'm not gonna knock you for trying to go for this. I think in champ this is an important one to go for. Obviously just a misread that hit the ceiling and it wasn't coming towards you, so you just completely missed, but that'll happen. I probably wouldn't have turned that way though. I would have turned this way. Oh, come to me, my pen. Hello? Gosh, I love trying to find the pen the first time. I would have rotated this way. We have 57 boost. So, you know, we only need to get a few pennies and we're kind of where we want to be boost-wise. Especially with how this guy, we watched our opponent here go for this ball. I think we can safely assume that this ball is going to the corner on our right side here. So we probably should rotate the other way so we can go back post. Because now we rotated this way and we're kind of just going against the grain a little bit. Or is that technically with the grain? Because they're going the same way as everything. Either way, I'd probably just go back post. I like the aggressiveness. Another good save. And twos, you can be a little bit more aggressive than ones. Oh, no, I don't like this. Really fast recovery here. You're really getting back quickly. If we see our opponent already setting up a dribble and going, and it's towards like the side of the field, I probably wouldn't chase behind it and try to cut him off. I don't think you might get there in time. Most of the time you're not. I would probably just went up the middle of the field, and then if he cut it into me, I would go. But then I'd just go up the middle of the field, be flexible to go back post, or wait for my teammate to go through and try to challenge this, because they'll be in a better position, or at least force them to make a play, right? Because now you're behind the ball and you're literally doing nothing. Like, you could be back post with your teammate on this one. No, nice dunk. Nice. You said you landed awkward. Let me just double check that. Ah, yes. You still could have corrected it and turned it after before the flip, but yes, I see what you're saying. Good goal though. Good dunk. Nice. I probably wouldn't have. This is just nitpicking. I probably wouldn't have boosted here because I think you want to make sure you're saving as much boost as you can. Overall, that's just a nitpicky comment. Nice air dribble from your teammate. Fine positioning so far. Yeah, go all in. It's twos. We're champ. When we get something I'm going to talk about a lot is when you get into higher ranks, I'm okay with crazier stuff happening. You going for crazier stuff because you are inherently more consistent. If a plat tried to do that, I would yell at them, right? But this is champ, so I'm more lenient on stuff like that just because, you know, you're going to be more likely to hit something like that, or your teammates can be more likely to back you up. All right, good positioning. We know we're kind of in a bad spot. We're just gonna let them mess up for us. The patience is what was key there. Just being patient, waiting for our teammate to get back, kill time. Nice pass from our teammate. Yes, let's get this ball going quick. Oh, just keep chasing that. Why not? We're champ. Your team will cover for you. Keep chasing that. I know it obviously looked like he was gonna save it, right? But that would have been a nice goal. You almost committed a cardinal sin. In 2s. And 3s as well. If you're ever rotating out or you're facing back towards your goal, never touch the ball. In this situation, never touch the ball, right? He didn't. It looked like he was going to. And look what happened if he would have. Gizmo just jumped. Free goal, free pass for the other team. He didn't. But a lot of players would just because they can. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Anyhow, welcome to my TED Talk. Thank you for listening. I like where we're going. I love your guys' chemistry so far. It has been very nice as you guys get scored on. But you guys really, obviously, you can tell you play well together. Gizmo needs to get back to net. I'm okay with this challenge. We should think about when we go for challenges like this too. We don't necessarily want to hit the ball very hard, or we don't want this ball to have a lot of velocity coming off of it. Because if it does, well, obviously you just got dunked, whatever. Like, that's unfortunate. And that's a beautiful fucking double tap from this guy. Sorry for cursing, but that is a beautiful double tap. But in those situations when the ball, you're kind of backwards and, you know, everything's awkward, you want to smother the ball as much as possible so it doesn't bounce out anywhere. And it just, you know, it leads to less counterattacks from your opponent if you can just keep the ball stuck in corners or on the sidewall instead of having it pop out to the middle. But yes, Gizmo should have been back in net. Was the big one. So this happens a lot too. Is this demo excuse me, this demo dribble, and this all becomes from Gizmo again committing technically a cardinal sin in 2s, and that is you should probably never, it's very unlikely, and I'd almost say you should never challenge a ball that's in our opponent's corner. This ball is in our opponent's corner. We should have let him come out farther and just kept retreating and then challenge it as it got out farther. Because Gizmo here will full commit to this ball. He'll get a 50, but it popped out, right? And now that it's popped out, it leads to the opportunity of a demo dribble. And if you're ever getting demo dribbled, the 2 ways to avoid it is to keep your speed going, right? You don't want to ever slow down. You can try to dodge them and go, or if you just challenge early, most of the time they're not going to be ready for you just to, you know, eat yourself with the ball. Hard to do a second man because you have to make sure you hit it, but there shouldn't be a follow-up really if you do touch it because the other guy's in front of where the ball is, right? But oh no, Dark, we're doing a replay analysis. All right, get that flip reset. Oh, that would have been beautiful. Gizmo's so mechanical, it seems. I like the challenge. Early, beautiful recovery. Get that solid 50. Now get the heck out of here, right? Get the heck out of here. We want to get the heck out of here, but in a smarter way. If we get the heck out of here on this path, right? I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get this boost, but it's not there, and it might not be there. It's a risk, right? We never, in general, want to retreat the same side of the field that the ball is on. We should be cutting up field here and going bing, 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 get these 3. Probably get 2 more over here, and then get back post, right? Because this way, it's like you're trying to get to where the ball is going to be. Most likely this ball is going to just keep going this way up the field, hit the corner here and go towards the middle of the field, right? It's not gonna, so you're never gonna catch the ball chasing behind it. You gotta get in front of it where it's gonna be, right? It's kind of counterintuitive because you're like, oh, but you're going a long way around, but this is where the ball is going to be. It's going to be in your goal, so you should get back to the goal before the ball will get there. And the fastest way is to go straight to the goal and not where the ball is going, right? Your teammate has a good dribble though to get it out of there, but that's when you could be, you know, let's say you're here, right? Let me fly here. Let's say instead of going there, you were rotating to the middle. Now you have the opportunity to maybe demo this guy, or at least just slow play, let all the crap go through, and then just settle into back post anyways, right? Like you were going to. So it worked out, but still. I also don't like this play. You could have, if your teammate's in the corner, I would just stay out of the corner. The best place to be in a situation like this is the slow play being in the net and then being right here and then being ready to come out of the net based on what happens here. What you don't want to do is to go join your teammate in the corner, because let's say El Janya here or whatever gets a monster 50 and puts the ball to the middle. You have nobody in your net now to defend it. Maybe Gizmo could have got back and somehow saved it, but it probably would be better off just staying in net and waiting to see the outcome. Beautiful 50. It is risky, but you know, risk comes with reward. I think in Champ that's a beautiful 50 to get that goal. It's a really, really ballsy challenge, but it was with the play, right? Like this play, you had beautiful timing. You were just following Gizmo up. You weren't trying to take the ball from him. You know, you see them take the touch. Gizmo has 0 boost, so if you do miss this, it's a goal. But you read it beautifully. You just it just flowed really well. You always kept going forward. It felt like at the same speed, accelerated at the time you needed to, right? Kickoff was a little off on that one, but that'll happen. That's okay. Oh, beautiful save from Gizmo. Yes, beautiful 50. Way to anticipate where that ball was going. Slowing it down a little bit. Nice. We got everybody backwards. We got 2 in the corner. Bump that guy. Oh, no boost though. Beautiful play. Just keep following it up here. Just causing chaos. We should probably get into ball cam a little sooner, see what's going on, right? Because we know we're going to go get that boost anyways. But just unfortunate that Gizmo was a little off from this. What was he doing? So where was he in during all this? 33 boosts. Yeah, this is one of the things where I talk about where you don't want to... If you're ever the second man, you never want to just be aimlessly wandering around not doing anything. And that's essentially what Gizmo was doing. Once he missed this boost, it should have been bang, this boost pad, this boost pad, this boost pad, and then starting to think about, okay, how can I support, right? Instead, you know, he got 1 boost pad in all that time and then had a mistimed challenge, right? Oh, that's not ideal. It did lead to a goal, unfortunately. I probably put the one we play that Gizmo played kind of weird. I gotcha. And that's okay. I mean, our teammates are going to play weird too. There are things we can do to help our teammate even though they are playing weird, right? Like that. That was a beautiful 50. I liked switching in and out of ball cam to see, like, this is a nice high-level tip for any of the plats or the golds in the chat. Notice how he goes out of ball cam. Why? Because he's forcing his camera's perspective down to see the field and see what's going on. And then he goes back up. He flicks it back up. Where's the ball at? Where's the ball at? Okay, now flick it back down. Where am I going to land? Where's everything happening, right? So, very, 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 very nice. Good tip for if you're ever stuck up in the sky looking at the ball and you don't know what's happening. Turn ball cam off. Take a second to survey what's going on and then go back up to it to understand, is this a ball I should go for or whatever, right? Good control in the corner, just being pesky. I love it. Get that boost. I love that rotation of getting that big boost and rotating out. As a variation of, you know, it's good for keeping pressure. It gives you boost. It keeps the middle boost open for your teammate to get. If it ever ends up where you need to go back faster, you can just go up this line here of boost. Instead of going for that corner, you can just go up this line of boost here and probably get full boost by the end if you have to go back in a hurry. Not necessarily something you have to do, though, all the time. Got 2 big boost pads. Greedy! So, okay, now we need to talk about this positioning here. So, where are we going, right? So, what play do we see here where we want to be out up here or out going this way, right? Because realistically, with the way everybody's facing, this ball is going to go up the corner or it's going to go this way, right? Like, it's going to go into this corner. So us kind of being up here, we're assuming or we're hoping that Gizmo is going to get a monster 50 and the ball's going to bounce out to us, or that somebody's going to do something and the ball's going to come to us, right? When most likely this isn't a good position. Now we're in a position where we have to run back. We're kind of out of position. We do get a good save, but like it could have been much worse, right? Especially if that ball, you know, would have gotten past us or would hit a little harder. Good. I like that passing play attempt, by the way. That was really nice. It didn't work out, but it put a lot of pressure. It's also trying to establish a rhythm, and I feel like that was a really key point there for establishing a rhythm for you guys. Try to be fast. We heard the other guy jump. Good attempt at the 50. Now we got bail. Good try. I'm trying to think if, you know, I'm trying to think if maybe going for this boost in this scenario wasn't the best idea. Maybe even getting these little boost pads here and staying in the middle of the field to be ready for a pass. Could have been good. It's tough. I think it wouldn't have mattered. But a little quick on that. It's just a corner's awkward. I understand. Corner's awkward. So, yep, just keep getting this ball going quickly. Now, something you guys are lacking at the moment is you're not having a lot of offensive opportunities. It's mainly because you guys are getting the ball going quickly here. You're kind of getting it out. Getting like solid touches, but the touches have no purpose for the most part. You really got to get that ball off the sidewall at this point. You need to get the ball off the sidewalls and try to get them into the middle of the field so that we can start making some offense, or even starting to blast the ball off the back wall more. Like, if we just keep playing the same game of in the corner and out, it's very easy to defend if you're ready for that. But we can get a dribble to the middle somehow and try to get a flick. If we can get a hard hit off the back wall and have your teammate come in quickly to capitalize on it, do some other things, you know, it'll make the corner play more effective too. But you know, it'll speed up the gameplay as well. And the whiff is very unfortunate. Does he mess up this? Oh my gosh, what a boomer, bro. Chat, if you had this open net, how many of you would hit this open net? This is an insane miss on an open net. That is crazy. Why did we flick that? Yeah, why did we flick that? Yes. Okay, anyhow, back to the commentary here. I like the idea of the passing play. Gizmo needs to be faster. You can't hold on to the ball in a passing play like this. You gotta get this ball in your car and you need to flick it to the middle, like now. Because we ideally, if in a passing play in this scenario, we want to be shooting the ball in the midfield, like right here-ish. Especially when it's like a fast break, essentially. We want to be in the middle of the field shooting this. if he waits any longer, you're going to be like basically in your opponent's, I guess, penalty box, and that's way too close now for a passing play of this nature. So faster, and he could have dished this to you as a roll, and you could have rolled it back to him, you know. So like there's ways you could have done a 1-2 kind of thing, right? There's a lot of ways you could have incorporated a good passing play here, but it was just too slow. It was just set up too slow. Yeah, it's just at this point you're just trying to make something happen. I understand. It was not the time to do it. It was unfortunate, but I understand in plays like this, you just gotta force yourself to wait for the best opportunity. And this wasn't it, just because of how slow the ball was moving. The ball never actually got in front of their goal to commit for. So being passive a little bit and ball hawking in the midfield would have been better, just to keep pressure on everybody. But I get it. You're down. You're tied. 22 seconds. You want to win. I understand why the challenge happened, but it wasn't the time for it. It wasn't the maximum percentage shot that we should have been taking in a scenario where we're tied with 22 seconds left. So shot selection is something that isn't talked about a lot in Champ, or I would say in Rocket League in general. There are times to go for the ball and to take a shot, and there are times to be passive and wait for a 50 or wait for an opportunity. There's also times where you have an opportunity, like where it looks like you can shoot the ball, but you should be going for a 50 or trying to go for a block, just because of the circumstances of where your opponents are, and if it's a viable, if the shot were to happen, if it were to actually score or have a chance of scoring, right? So in that case, that shot had no chance of scoring, and the pass probably wasn't going to have a chance of being a goal either, so we should have played back. Nice. We, I guess, just got to get going a little bit here. No, the dribble would have been so beautiful. That would have been like the superhero moment right here if we could have just controlled this dribble. Oh, so unfortunate. So unfortunate that it didn't work out. But nonetheless, I think there's obviously a lot of good things. You guys have played well together, you're fast. There's just some awkwardness, I think, in this game. I don't think that's representative of how you guys normally play. Obviously, there's always some mechanical things that we cleaned up. Excuse me, I think there are pathing issues with trying to go back to net after like a play happens when you're trying to rotate out. You could try to focus more on trying to go the opposite side of where the ball is going and then rotate back post versus falling behind the ball. That'll help facilitate stuff, getting into the middle of the field when you're rotating back and not just staying on the side just trying to get big boosts. If you get in the middle of the field more, you open yourself up for more opportunities to touch the ball and save it if it's awkward or if it's in a dangerous spot, as well as possibly even demos and bumps that could free up your clears and maybe even lead to some counterattacks. So those are the big one I think I saw. Hopefully this replay really helped you out, Luscious Limes. Thank you again for sending it in, and we will, if anybody else wants their replay analyzed, make sure you head to my Discord, the link in the description. Submit a replay in the replay submission box, I guess you can call it, and I'll get to it when I can. So thank you, Limes, again. Really good. There's a lot of potential here. You'll definitely be able to rank up with just some minor tweaks. So thank you.